I'm the author of A Hidden Mathematical Genius Within Revealed. Today, I want us to talk about quadratic equations.
My dominion is not easy.
Quadratic equations. What are quadratic equations? Okay, so quadratic equations, these are equations with the highest power of 2. So in an equation, if you see the highest power of 2, then just know that this is a quadratic equation. So quadratic equations are defined as equations with the highest power of 2. So equations with the highest power of 2. Okay. They are expressed in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so quadratic equations are expressed in this form. It's ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are constants. Okay, a, b, c are constants. Okay, let me just say where a is coefficient of x squared. B is coefficient of x. C is constant. It's a term independent of x. Okay, so quadratic equations are equations of the highest power of 2. So if you see an equation, in an equation the highest power is 2, just know that it's a quadratic equation. Okay, so what are examples of quadratic equations? Okay, so examples. Examples, we can have a, let's say we have 2x squared minus 3x minus 9 is equal to 0. Then b, let's say we have 6x squared plus x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then c, let's say we have x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So these are examples of quadratic equations, and you can see that from this equation a, the highest power of x is what? Is 2. The highest power is 2. So it is a quadratic equation. Okay, and we said quadratic equations are expressed in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so even this one, the highest power is 2, and here the highest power is 2. Okay, let's say we are told to state the values of a, b, and c. or how do you state? Okay, so we just say task state the values of A, B, and C from the above quadratic equations. State the values of A, B, and C from the above equations. Okay, so the values of A, B, and C. Okay, so according to the expression, it's ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So the coefficient of x squared is always a. So if you look at this equation here, we have x squared here. The coefficient of this x squared is 2. So a is 2. And we go to b. B is just the coefficient of x. Okay, x is here. The coefficient of x is what? Negative 3. Don't say 3. This 3 has a minus sign here, so it's negative 3. So b is equal to negative 3. Okay, c is the term independent of x, which is a constant. Okay, by term independent of x, it means this number doesn't have a variable. In this case, doesn't have x. It's just a number. Okay, so what is the value of c there? Okay, we can see we have minus 9 here. There's a minus there. So c is equal to minus 9. Okay, so for b, from equation b here, the coefficient of x squared is what? Yes, 6. So a is equal to 6. Okay, then the coefficient of x in this, we can't see any value here, but just know that for every variable there is an invisible 1 to the front, because the coefficient is just a number to the front of a variable. Okay, so here there's an invisible 1 and it's positive, so we have a positive 1. So b is equal to 1. Okay, c, that is the term independent of x. What's the term independent of x here? We have 1 there and there's a minus there, so it's minus 1. C is equal to negative 1. Okay, then c, what from this equation, see what's the coefficient of x squared? You can see there is nothing there to the front of x squared, so the coefficient is 1. So a is equal to 1. B is equal to coefficient of x. Okay, so there we have 2 and there is a minus there, so it's negative 2. Okay, and coefficient of not coefficient but c, that is the term independent of x. Okay, so this one doesn't have an x, so c is 1, positive 1. C is equal to 1. So this is how you determine the values of a, b, and c from a quadratic equations. Now, how do you solve these equations? So methods of solving. Methods of solving. Okay, so quadratic equations can be solved I think in 4 ways. So the first one we'll look at is the factorization method. Okay, then second one we'll look at completing the square. completing the square method. Then the third one, we are going to do quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Then the last one is a graphical method. A graphical method. Okay, so for this one, we'll do it specifically under quadratic functions. So for just solving, we'll look at these three: factorization method, completing the square method, and quadratic formula. Okay, so this is all I had for you. So just to do a recap, I said quadratic equations. These are equations with the highest power of 2. So in an equation, there is the highest power of 2, and these equations are expressed in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so where a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is a constant, and that is a term independent of x. Okay, then we had examples of quadratic equation there. So you just state the values of a, b, and c. Okay, thank you so much for watching.